I'm not sure if I'd agree with the characterization specifically around content moderation that you gave.
Well, let's get into that, and let me see if we can refresh your memory and provide folks at home watching with an example. Here over my...
Now, wouldn't it be nice to have a politician with that level of intellect, moral courage, integrity, and doggedness?
You ask too much, Ricardo.
I do.
You ask too much.
Your companies are the most powerful companies in the world, and I want to talk about how you're coordinating together to control information. In recent days, my office was contacted by a Facebook whistleblower, a former employee of the company with direct knowledge of the company's content moderation practices, and I want to start by talking about an internal platform called Tasks that Facebook uses to coordinate projects, including censorship. The Tasks platform allows Facebook employees to communicate about projects they're working on together. That includes Facebook censorship teams, including the so-called community well-being team, the integrity team, and the hate speech engineering team, who all use the Task platform to discuss which individuals or hashtags or websites to ban. Now, Mr. Zuckerberg, you're familiar with the Task platform, aren't you?
How did you know about that?
Senator, we use the task system for, I think it's, as you say, for people coordinating all kinds of work across the company, although I'm not sure if I'd agree with the characterization specifically around content moderation that you gave.
Well, let's get into that, and let me see if we can refresh your memory and provide folks at home watching with an example. Here over my shoulder is an example. It's a screenshot of the Task platform in use. You'll notice if the cameras zoom in, several references to election integrity throughout on these lists of tasks. Again, this is shared across Facebook's sites, company locations, by working groups. What particularly intrigued me is that the platform reflects censorship input from Google and Twitter as well. So Facebook, as I understand it, Facebook censorship teams communicate with their counterparts at Twitter and Google and then enter those companies' suggestions for censorship onto the Task platform so that Facebook can then follow up with them and effectively coordinate their censorship efforts. So, Mr. Zuckerberg, let me just ask you directly, under oath now, does Facebook coordinate its content moderation policies or efforts in any way with Google or Twitter?
Senator, let me be clear about this. We do coordinate on and share signals on security-related topics. So, for example, if there is signal around a terrorist attack or around child exploitation imagery or around a foreign government creating an influence operation, that is an area where the companies do share signals about what they see. But I think it's important to be very clear that that is distinct from the content moderation policies that we or the other companies have, where once we share intelligence or signals between the companies, each company makes its own assessment of the right way to address and deal with that information.
Well, I'm talking about content moderation. I'm talking about individuals, websites, hashtags, phrases to ban. Is it your testimony that you do not communicate with Twitter or Google about content moderation, about individuals, websites, phrases, hashtags to ban? Just yes or no. Do you communicate with Twitter or Google about coordinating your policies in this way?
Senator, we do not coordinate our policies.
Do your Facebook content moderation teams communicate with their counterparts at Twitter or Google?
Senator, I'm not aware of anything specific, but I think it would be probably pretty normal for people to talk to their peers and colleagues in the industry.
It would be normal, but you don't do it?
No, I'm saying that I'm not aware of any particular conversation, but I would expect that some level of communication probably happens. But that's different from coordinating what our policies are or our responses in specific instances.
Well, fortunately, I understand that the Task platform is searchable. So will you provide a list of every mention of Google or Twitter from the Tasks platform to this committee?
Senator, that's something that I can follow up with you and your team after on.
Well, yes or no, I'm sure you can follow up with the list, but why don't you commit while I've got you here under oath? It's so much better to do this under oath. Will you commit now to providing a list from the tasks platform of every mention of Google or Twitter?
Senator, respectfully, I'm without having looked into this, I'm not aware of any sensitivity that might exist around that. So I don't think it would be wise for me to commit to that right now.
So
but I would be happy to follow.
No, it wouldn't.
How many items on the task platform reflect that Facebook, Twitter, and Google are sharing information about websites or hashtags or platforms that they want to suppress?
Senator, I do not know.
Will you provide a list of every website and hashtag that Facebook content moderation teams have discussed banning on the task platform?
Senator, again, I would be happy to follow up with you or your team to discuss further how we might move forward on that. But without
will you commit to it here? Senator Cruz and Senator Lee both asked you for lists of individuals, websites, entities that have been subject to content moderation. You expressed doubt about whether any such information exists, but you've also now said that the task website, you've acknowledged the task platform exists, that it is searchable. So will you commit to providing the information you have logged on the task website about content moderation that your company has undertaken? Yes or no?
Senator, I think it would be better to follow up once I've had a chance to discuss with my team what any sensitivity around that would be that might prevent the kind of sharing that you're talking about. But once I've done that, I would be happy to follow up.
All right. So you won't commit to do it here. We could, of course, subpoena this information, but I'd much rather get it from you voluntarily. But I think let everybody take note that Mr. Zuckerberg has now repeatedly refused to provide information that he knows that he has and has now acknowledged that he has, that Tasks has under oath. Let me switch to different.
Magnificent.
Well done. Well done.
Now, wouldn't it be nice to have a politician with that level of intellect, moral courage, integrity, and doggedness?
You ask too much, Ricardo.
I do.
You ask too much.
We pay them
but you know what? The Donald taught them how to fight. He taught them how to fight. Lindsey Graham earned the name Lindsey Graham 2.0 when he was fighting for Brett Kavanaugh to be confirmed. He said, "This is a sham. What's going on?" And he's been forced into this position. And Donald Trump has sort of shown them the way. This is how you fight. It's okay to fight because the gloves are off now, guys. Are you going to fight or are you going to lose your country? And you know, where it's counted, we've seen a number of people like Ted Cruz, like Senator Hawley that we just saw, and it's been excellent. It's been excellent.
Again, just to bring, and you're exactly right, and to bring a couple of perspectives here to us, to our viewers. Has the ABC shown you this? Have the commercials shown you this? Peter Credlin, Alan Jones, Paul Murray, Andrew Bold, take your pick. Or is this new? Make up your own mind about how well-informed Australians are generally.
Yeah. In defence of Sky News, and guys, I'm not a big fan of Sky News, believe it or not. I think they need a bit of work, but they do, to their credit, cover a lot of these things. I have seen Alan Jones often talk about what we're about to look at, which is Trump's tax returns, the partisanship of censorship and big tech, and the problem with it. But my gosh, I think there's more they could be doing. And the other media outlets, the free-to-air ones, oh my gosh, and the ones you pay taxes to, I am coming down very hard on them, especially the ABC with $1 billion a year.
That's a very good point you make about those that do mention a few of these issues. What it highlights is the utter impotence of the entire system. Now, when they're not reporting it, they're part of the problem. And when they report a few of these issues, you realise how impotent they are. Because I've seen Alan Jones get quite exercised about certain issues. But ladies and gentlemen, sovereignty lies with you. Until you decide you've had enough, this will continue, this charade.
That's right.
We'll have people lying, cheating and stealing, people either not reporting it or reporting it. But either way, have you noticed that nothing changes? The economy is still locked down, you've still lost your job, people are still committing suicide, businesses with 25 to 30 years that have provided wealth and services and goods to just evaporated. This will continue until you wake up.
That's right.
Sovereignty lies with you. Don't rely on Alan Jones and Peter Credlin and Andrew Bolt and Paul Murray. Don't rely on them.
Yeah.
They've just got a job to do. They're doing their job. Good luck to them.
Yeah.
ABC is completely failing in its responsibilities.
Yep.
Sovereignty lies with the people. And until the people decide for themselves, I've had enough, this will continue. This is a Darwinian process in action. The strongest will survive.
Yeah.
and you have all the strength you need. All you need to do is band together and say stop.
Yeah.
And then everybody else has got to pay attention to you.
Yeah.
But until you do, it's just going to get worse.
Support the show, guys. Alternative media is certainly where we
I
need
like
to
citizen
go.
journalists better. Not alternative.
Yeah.
They're the legacy media. That's the right term. They're legacy media.
Yeah, that's right.
They're the old
Yeah.
legacy media. They're old and busted, and this is new and hot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, as I said before, guys, Monica Smith's doing an excellent job. She's got the same problems I got. It's funding. It's finding the time to get people on board to actually do this, so that she can do other stuff, citizen journalism. And she said she wants a weatherman. She wants a whole bunch of things. She wants to replace the media completely.
That's what I said some time ago when you asked me what's the future of media in this country. You are. Can you imagine that? You go to YouTube and you have 150, 200, 300, 400 intelligent, smart, dynamic individuals giving you a piece of the action. Now, all you've got to do is donate $5 a week. And you give $5 a week across maybe five.
Mate, if they did $5 a
Five
month,
channels?
If they did $5 a month, that would be amazing.
There you go.
They don't realize the power of that.
The power that they have is the point, because you could contribute. Okay, that's an easy number. $5 a month. Pick 10 citizen journalists that you like, know, and trust.
Yeah.
You spend more on coffee, but all of a sudden you've got 10 shows you go to, and wow, you know more than anybody else in the office. You know more than anybody else on the factory floor. You know more than anybody else in the police station.
Yeah.
And bit by bit by bit, this is part of that empowering individuals.
That's right.
Across the nation. Imagine an entire Australian nation that knows exactly what's going on. Do you think Scott Morrison would like last 10 seconds? Now, add that, give them the power of recall elections. Oh, baby.
Oh, wow. Good God.
Baby. Now we're talking hot and cool. We got this really new hotness. We got this whole new approach to politics in Australia. We have an informed, intelligent electorate. And we have politicians who know that they've got to answer to them, otherwise they're out of a job. And all of a sudden things are a whole lot better.
Yeah.
No COVID nonsense, no forced vaccinations.
Yeah. All comes back to technology.
It's in the people's hands.
Exactly.
It's in the people's hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got another one?
I do.